Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Legacy. My name's Noah Mitchell and I'm the Senior Learning Experience Designer here at Legacy FM. And today I want to share with you a little story that just happened to me yesterday, actually. And so yesterday was one of those really stressful days. High pressure, probably a lot of that I put on myself, but I tend to be a perfectionist when it comes to myself and my work. And a lot of times, doing my best in my head doesn't always look the same whenever it actually happens. And that tends to get pretty stressful and frustrating for me. I have other videos that cover how I sort of deal with those emotions and circumvent those issues. But back to the story. So around lunchtime yesterday, my daughter had been begging me, please, can we go to McDonald's, Daddy? And I finally gave in. I was so stressed out and exhausted by the time lunch rolled around, or when we take our lunch, which was a little bit later than it should have been. And I was like, all right, let's go. It'll be good for us to hang out. Sit down at McDonald's. You can do your thing. I bought lunch elsewhere because I'm currently trying to lose weight. And so, we just kind of sat there for a little bit. She ate, we talked, and had a pretty good little time. And then shortly thereafter, we came back home. I got her started on another project, and then I got started back on my current project. And so it was back to the high pressure and me really trying to squeeze out what I could at the highest quality that I could. But the story is last night when my daughter was getting ready to go to bed, she walked up to me. I was in my bathroom washing my hands, and she looked up at me and was like, good night, Daddy. And I was like, good night, baby. I love you. And then it hit me. I don't know why, but looking at her, my little 7-year-old, well, she's not really little. She's actually pretty tall. And I just felt this immense emotion and feeling of gratitude. And so I just looked at her and I said, I want to tell you something. And she said, what? And I'm like, thank you for hanging out with me today at McDonald's. And I'm in it. I mean, I think it's really what I needed to sort of give me a little bit of time to decompress from the stress that I've been feeling throughout the day. It really gave me enough energy to continue working that day and developing this project that I'm working on. The amazing thing is, after I said that, you see her stop and just look at me. And she says, why, Daddy? And she's like, well, thank you for buying me McDonald's. And then she said, I love you, and just gave me the biggest hug. And I mean, first of all, if you have kids, you know that when your kids say things like that and hug you, there's nothing better in the whole world. I'm sorry, there really isn't. But what I'm getting at is that how amazing that even a 7-year-old stops and thinks to themselves, no, you know what? Thank you for doing this thing for me. And I think what I saw in that was like what power we have with the words that we speak to other people, even children, and the power of positive words. Something as simple as thank you can make a 7-year-old stop and think about their own situation and also be thankful back. And it just really got me thinking about the power of positive words. I know this is a huge cliche. There are tons of other videos out there of people probably far better than I am at doing videos that talk about, the power of positive thinking and the power of positive words and being kind to one another and being humble to one another. But I don't know, it really affected me when it was with my child. And it just made me realize that, we get caught up in our hectic days. We get caught up in the stress of everything. And I think a lot of times that can really make us feel so stressed out. First of all, it can make us feel anxious, but it can also make us feel, I think, hostile or maybe irascible, aggressive toward other people. Or short, curt, whatever you want to say. And the problem with that is that I think, at least in my case, I start to kind of invent false narratives in my head of what those other people are thinking about me. Like they're probably disappointed in me now because I'm not doing a great, or I'm stressed out today, I'm not doing a great job, or boy, I bet they're really angry at me. You start really like getting inundated and drowned in these negative thoughts and aspects. And that can lead us to, not use positive language when we speak to other people, and to be angry ourselves because we're human beings. And for whatever reason, that tends to be our primary reaction, is to be angry back. I will fight you. And I think that it just makes you realize that if we stop for a moment, even at the end of the day, when we're really tired and we're still really stressed out, and we just think about those things throughout our day that really made an impact, or in the case of my daughter, if we're worked with someone today, and maybe you had lunch with them and you were kind of quiet and didn't talk as much, but like that lunch really helped you get through the rest of the day. Just look at what happens when you take a moment to try and see above the stress and the negativity and the anxiety of just how powerful two little words are. Thank you. And it's the gift that keeps on giving, because then I think in them, not only does it make them feel better, but again, with my daughter, it made her actually think, wow, thank you, Dad, for buying me McDonald's. I really think that would be the case with a lot of other people. Maybe not every case. Don't come back to me and say, hey, Noah, I tried this and the person was mean back to me. That might happen. But I'm willing to bet that 9 times out of 10, that it won't. And that you'll find it to be just an extremely rewarding and meaningful interaction. And so I guess that's my video today. Just, even when it gets stressful, even when you're down to the wire and you're feeling pressured, just find some time, even if it's a minute, 30 seconds, whatever it is, to just reach out of that negativity and that stress and think about the things that happen to you throughout the day that you're thankful for. And if there's anybody else that had anything to do with that positive, beacon of light in your day, make sure to reach out to them and to tell them exactly what it meant to you. Because at the end of the day, I think whether it's in the workplace or if it's just out in the world, when we do that, we're going to create a better environment. We're going to create a better world at the end of it all. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you all have an awesome rest of your week. Go ahead and, start a conversation in the comments. As you know, I love to talk, and I'd love to have a conversation with you about even this topic or anything else. But I'd love to hear from you. Otherwise, we'll see you next time.